Nah. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot to go through today. Raheem Sterling coming out and exposing the truth. Gabriele Marcotti has a lot to say about our owners. Frank Lampard press conference, Bournemouth game, and whole heap of transfer news, man. It's going to be a blockbuster.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into it. There's a lot to go through, and we're trying to capture as many latest news as possible. And like always, want to see what you guys have to say about this. You're going to be very, very interested in today's topics. First up, Raheem Sterling. If you guys have missed the interview, a lot of people have tagged me on it and sent me DMs showing me where the article is. Please check that out. Raheem Sterling interview floating all around the internet at the moment. Very important. Gives a clear message. And I'm now completely, in the understanding that these owners always just wanted a yes man to start things off. I don't know whether it's going to change with Pochettino coming in. I hope it does. Looks like Poch does not want to be a yes man, which is fantastic news. But it was clear as daylight as soon as Tuchel left and Graham Potter came in. And there was nothing in control. I think Thiago Silva in recent times had sort of alluded on that, and now Raheem Sterling has gone on and sort of elaborated on the matter even more. And you better take Raheem Sterling's talk seriously because he comes from a very, very successful institution. I know a lot of people are not very keen on Raheem Sterling at the moment because of his form, but I've always said, this guy's not a bad player, man. This guy's a very, very classy player. Once again, we've brought another player down to our crappy levels, much like all the other players, and now he's a victim of this situation. Raheem Sterling, organization is the most important thing to be successful. Having a manager that has the final say on everything. He does everything in his way, and everyone has to follow that. Successful teams always have that. Let's check out the interview, just a snippet of it.
I said I'm not one to tell the club what to do, but I said from what I can gauge from where I was previously, I think organisation is the most important thing. Having a manager that, has the final say on everything. He does everything his way, and everyone has to follow that. And I think successful teams always have that as a manager that comes in, brings his blueprint, and everyone follows. And if there's people that don't follow, they're not part of the team. And I think that's how brutal it needs to be at a high level, because it's the fine lines of winning or coming second or being in the position that we are now. So it's that everyone on the same page sort of thing. So that's not an advice, but that's from my experience.
Honestly, I don't think anything needs to be said further than that. Raheem Sterling literally has laid it on the floor, and it's clear. These players have not had a manager, and I'll put Frank Lampard into that situation as well, but definitely predominantly this is in regards to Graham Potter. Manager comes in, has to have his own way. They've got to build the team based on their belief. They can't just be sitting there taking orders left, right, and center from everyone and anyone. You're not going to gain respect that way. It's as simple as that. The way Raheem Sterling is talking is exactly how Pep Guardiola runs the show in Man City. You don't want to, believe in what Pep has to say, much like in recent times, Joao Felix and many other players that has been under Pep Guardiola that he has quickly, got ridden of. That's how it needs to be at the highest level. You need to be brutal like that. You need to have a blueprint, as Raheem Sterling said, and you need to get the buy-in. And if you can't get the buy-in, I'm sorry. Either you're not competent enough or the players need to be removed. It's as simple as that. Mikel Arteta, same thing at Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? He's had to struggle, but he stuck to his laurels. He stuck to his, motif. That, this is how we're going to do things. Going to get rid of all of these players that I don't want, to be part of the team, and it's causing a bit of drama for us. And he's, stayed true to that. That's how it's meant to be at Chelsea Football Club. Need the next manager, Poch, to come in and just don't listen to anyone else. Yes, communicate with the board and collaborate, of course, but have your own plan, lay it out to the players, give them clear instructions, give them good guidance, and the players that buy in, fantastic, work hard with them, and the players that don't want to buy into it, immediately let the board know to get rid of them. It's as simple as that. Maurizio Sarri, if you guys remember, when he came into Chelsea Football Club, had similar ideology. Gary Cahill got abolished. Didn't like it, but that's how it needs to be at the top level. And unfortunately, that hasn't been the case at Chelsea Football Club this season, on top of, obviously, the number of players that we have in our squad. Raheem Sterling touches on that in the interview. Check out the entire interview. He talks about the squad size as well. A lot of players need to go, man. Raheem Sterling said it's very difficult to stay fit because 2 sets of training sessions. Some players are not going to be playing one week, the other week they are. Motivation is very difficult to keep motivated that way. You have to get rid of a hell of a lot of players. Raheem Sterling, a manager comes in, brings his blueprint, and everyone follows. If people don't follow, they aren't part of the team. That's how brutal it needs to be at the highest level. Organization is the most important thing to be successful. Having a manager that has final say over everything, he does everything his way, and everyone has to follow that. Successful teams always have that. Fantastic to see. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you thought about that. Now, Gabriele Marcotti on Todd Boehly. Check this out. There's, as I said, in recent times, a lot of pundits out there saying what we are saying. So, if you're getting upset sometimes, I see people on, don't just be so harsh on the owners. Look, there are some people that have been in this industry for so long. This is what they're saying as well. So every time he opens his mouth, you know how he sounds. He doesn't sound great, and it's not a great look. I don't know if he's getting poor advice when he speaks. Check this video out, ladies and gentlemen.
It's funny, right? Because, he doesn't really give press conferences, speak to the media here. What he likes to do is he likes to go and appear at these business conferences, I think he had a Bloomberg one earlier this year. Now this one, he's with Michael Milken, of all people. And he rattles off a bunch of Captain Obvious type stuff. Oh, look, it's a global market and we're in it for the long haul. What is he going to say? I'm like, we really want to win. Like, okay, sure. I think sometimes he always throws in a new nugget, right? So we've heard him talk about a novel idea of an all-star game in the Premier League. And this time he starts talking about the markets and, oh, look, they're all different markets. Oh, yeah, look, different countries have different markets. They have different leagues. They have different players playing in them. I mean, I don't know if it's a legacy or, where he comes from, Major League Baseball, where, of course, they do have players from Japan and Venezuela and whatever, but you don't actually go and acquire them the way you do in football. But, guess what? Hey, look, it's a different sport. And this idea that all these markets are so different, if anything, you speak to anybody who operates there, no, they're not. There's intermediaries and agents who operate across all these European markets. And, it's not like it's completely different buying a right back in Portugal as opposed to buying one in France. And guess what? You hire these recruitment specialists, Christopher Vivell and Win Stanley, and Stewart. You hired these guys in January. They're the guys who spent the bulk of the $600 million, precisely because they do this for a living and have done this for a living for a long time. So presumably they know how to do it. So no, it shouldn't be an obstacle. It shouldn't be an issue that they're all different markets, because even if you're learning about it and you're still wrapping your head around it, these guys do it for a living. So I don't know. I don't know why he chooses this, because then whatever he says gets taken out of context and yeah, because almost like every time he opens his mouth, he doesn't sound great. It's not a great look. I know he's getting poor advice when he speaks, but yeah, I think the last thing that he needs right now is, I'm glad he's there and not here, because, next Chelsea home game, if they don't win, you'll get more people singing Roman Abramovich's name.
Bang on. Once again, bang on. I mean, I honestly didn't understand what Todd Boehly was trying to get to when he was talking about, the European markets, the global markets, all different. What are you trying to get to, my man? Like, as Gabriele Marcotti said, if anything, the European football market's not different. Like, they're all same. They've got intermediaries. You've got recruiters now in your club. Talk to the intermediaries and get the players. I don't know what he Todd. Honestly speaking, I'm not really sure what Todd Boehly's understanding was in regards to football, European football, and league football in Europe. I'm not entirely sure what his preconceived idea was about this, because he's come in along with Iqbali completely lost, completely misreading everything. They just thought that, okay, the manager is just, I don't know, like a puppet, will listen to what I have to say, and if we get an influx of very, very good players, then everything should just look after itself accordingly. He's paid no attention to the details of the game, that it's not as simple as that. There is tactics. You do need to have some level of extreme knowledge to get the best out of the team. I think they've absolutely misread all of that. The way they've abolished everyone as soon as they've come through, they've disrespected an organization that has built a standard, which was at a bare minimum, in a given season, generally top 4. And they've disrespected that. And now here we are finding ourselves potentially going to be 14th, 15th, 16th, God knows. We're definitely going to lose against Bournemouth. That's for sure. Okay, breaking. Chelsea have made an offer to Pochettino and they remain optimistic. Details can be agreed. Poch is thought to be excited. This is from Matt Law. Look, I hope this gets done quick. I'm not really sure as to what the holdup is. But at this stage, all we can do is stay patient. Chelsea are currently negotiating the final details of Pochettino's contract to become the club's next permanent head coach. Telegraph Sport understands that an offer has been made to Pochettino and that Chelsea remain optimistic that the details of the deal will be agreed, with the Argentine thought to be excited by challenge. So it looks like an offer is there, and Pochettino is basically just making sure all the the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed off. So maybe the holdup is from Pochettino's end, and rightly so. I want Poch to make sure he knows what he's getting into. I truly do. I truly want him to know what he's getting into, and I truly want him to demand for anything that he thinks is required to get the best out of this squad. Because let me tell you something, we cannot have this shambolic season again. I don't expect miracles next season either. My expectation is about 6th. If we can at least manage to do that, somehow get into Europa League, then fair enough. And then we can work from there. I know a lot of you guys won't want this, and you might be a little bit annoyed by this expectation from me, but I'm just being realistic. I cannot go from being 15, potentially 16th this season by the time it finishes, then to expect to be top 4. Now, some transfer news. We're going to whiz through some of these transfer news because we're going to do a special on it down the track. And to be honest, I can't be bothered doing transfer news now. Everything about transfers just annoy me because I'm more interested to get players out. And the situation that we're in, it sucks. We need a new manager first up. So all of these transfer news it's just annoying for me. But we'll whiz through it. Breaking. Chelsea are trying to put themselves in pole position to sign Andre Onana from Inter Milan. This is from Matt Law. So we are looking for a goalkeeper. That's been the case for a very, very long time. Word in the street is that Mendy will be sold, and Kepa we will consider some sort of offer if anything comes up. Andre Onana, what do I think about him? Look, I've seen him a few times for Ajax. I've seen him a few times for Inter Milan. He's a good shot stopper. He's a very good goalkeeper. His distribution is not bad either. He can be erratic at times, but he does some crazy, crazy things. I've seen him do that. He'll rush out of his, goalkeeping position into midfield area at times, and then he'll get beat. I've seen him do some crazy stuff. That's all I'm going to say. Can he be, in the right frame of mind? His temperament, there's been times where he's clashed with players, which is fine. You want to see some form of aggression and passion that you care. So he's going to bring that. But could we have done better? I mean, Mike Maignan from AC Milan, that would have been a stupendous choice. David Raya is not bad either. So a lot of people are rating Onana ahead of David Raya from Brentford. But look, Onana, not bad. It all depends on how much we get out of, how much we have to outlay to Inter Milan. Inter Milan will do us again. That's what they always do, doing business with Inter Milan. That's not nice. That's not nice at all. And then they're not even going to take Lukaku one more season. So get ready to get done again by Inter Milan. Chelsea are amongst clubs monitoring Rasmus Højlund. I think this is the brother from Atalanta, I believe. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know too much about this player, honestly. But there's a lot of hype about him. You let me know, ladies and gentlemen. Is this guy the real deal? Is this guy the real deal? I don't know, man. I'd rather go with Vitor Roque, man. I know Vitor Roque wants to hold out for Barcelona, but if there's any chance of us getting him, look, there's no way we're going to get Victor Osimhen or Harry Kane. It's just too expensive. And as I've always said, it's not about the money. It's more about the financial fair play that we need to keep within. But this brother, I've got no idea. You let me know. Is he going to shine in the Premier League at Chelsea Football Club? A club that, barely creates much. So that's the other issue. Are we going to create stuff? What type of a striker is he? Let me know, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know. Chelsea are only planning to make 2 or 3 key additions this summer. Perfect. I don't need a wholesale of players coming in. Goalkeeper, defensive midfielder, striker. That's it. Get rid of 10 to 15 players. Bare minimum. And don't forget, there's a lot of players coming in from loans as well. So we've got our work cut out, man. I don't need to have 8, 9, 10 players coming in the summer. No, please. And especially no more 15, 16, 17-year-olds. Please. Enough. What is the plan for the future for these people? Don't just bring them in and then shelf them. And then don't forget, we still got Chukwuemeka, Amari Hutchinson, Lewis Hall. The list continues. We're about to get rid of Charlie Webster, who's probably going to go to Dortmund, who's going to turn out to be an 80 million player. And then we're going to look like stupid again. So have a plan for these future, for the future. What is the go? Frank Lampard's come in and he's not using any of these players that we're potentially going to use in the future, which is sad to see. Now, Chelsea are among the clubs interested in Napoli's Victor Osimhen and will no doubt get linked with Harry Kane because of his relationship with Pochettino. And look, that link was always going to happen. Because of Pochettino, Harry Kane's going to get linked, but I highly doubt Harry Kane's going to move to Chelsea. He ain't going to do that. The backlash he's going to have to copy, he just won't do that. However unlikely a move might be, the Blues are among a clutch of clubs also monitoring Atalanta striker Rasmus Højlund. I think I did say Atalanta. Victor Osimhen, wow, what a player he would be if we were to sign him. By the way, kudos to Napoli for winning the Serie A, and he's been a main figure in regards to that success. I just can't see it happening, man. I really cannot. 150 million euros, apparently that's the price that's getting touted around. I just can't see how that happens. We have to look at, and this is why Romelu Lukaku's situation is floating, and we'll talk about that, because I don't know whether we're going to get a striker. We might have to do with Romelu Lukaku. As I said, my choice would be Vitor Roque, but he might be holding out for Barcelona later on. If Barca can't do it this season, potentially might be able to do it next season. And Vitor Roque might just stick around for that. Chelsea are expected to sell Mendy after failing to agree a contract extension. There you go. This is what I expected. This is truly what I expected with the Mendy situation. Mendy's wanting Kepa levels of money. Kepa don't even deserve Kepa levels of money, let alone giving it to Mendy. Look, I thank you for his services. Won a lot of stuff with us, Champions League, Club World Cup, and then also Super Cup. Obviously, as you can see, this is, I believe, the UEFA Goalkeeper Award as well. The season that we won Champions League, he was sensational. There's no doubt about that. He came in and he took the season by storm. Do you know what I mean? Excellent shot stopper. But I have to say, there is flaws. He's also erratic at times. I remember last season, there was some mad stuff happening against West Ham, Real Madrid, and many other matches. He went through a patch where it was just erratic. Then he went to the World Cup. It wasn't great there either. It all started from the African Cup of Nations. He came back as a winner. He won that as well. And then it all started to go south from there on in, last January onwards. Look, I thank you for his services. He's been a phenomenal player for us, goalkeeper for us, but I'm not going to be shying away from the fact that there is distinct flaws. And if we want to continue in the future where the goalkeeper is going to be a main component to our build-up, you cannot proceed with Mendy. It's as simple as that. That's just my thoughts on it. Next up, West Ham are expected to demand 100 million For midfielder Declan Rice this summer, Chelsea are monitoring developments and have long held an interest in Rice, but their willingness to pursue a deal will depend on the identity of their new head coach and how quickly they can trim the first team squad. No way, once again, Chelsea Football Club is buying Declan Rice for £100 million. No way. No way he's probably even going to be worth that much. I think at the end of this season, he'll probably have 2 more seasons left, as I believe. One, but there's an option to extend, I think, in his contract, which I'm pretty sure West Ham will be very happy to trigger that. They're still not completely safe this season, so we'll monitor that situation, if they're going to be safe this season or they're going to get relegated. They're in the Conference League semi-final, I believe, so there's a lot to play for West Ham. I don't know whether he comes to Chelsea. That's the thing now. We're not going to have European football, and he's looking for European football. Arsenal's very confident they're going to get this guy. It's probably going to be about 70 to 80 million. But I think our mind is well set on players like Romeo Lavia, Manu Kone, Ugarte as well. So there are other options, cheaper options, and probably options that can do a job very much neat as good as Declan Rice. I think Declan Rice is top standard, and I've always said in recent times, now that we've got Enzo Fernandez, I think someone like Declan Rice next to him makes sense. But once again, the price, we just won't spend that much money. FFP is a factor. Chelsea will bring back Romelu Lukaku a lot, although his future is dependent on who becomes the Blues' next manager. But the club are still looking at striker and want to bring in either a premium number 9 or a promising one. Look, I think we shouldn't be surprised if this happens. I think there is a big chance that Romelu Lukaku comes back. I don't want it to happen, if I'm being absolutely honest. I don't think he wants to come back either. This guy is just a time bomb, a ticking time bomb. Any moment, he could just ruin your football club. So I don't want this guy to come back. I mean, even if we get to a situation where, okay, we've got his sorry and we've got the buy-in, Poch is buying from him, and then he promises that he'll never do. No, I can't. This Lukaku brother cannot be trusted. I'm sorry, I never say this word snake. He is a proper snake. I hate saying this about players, but this guy is egotistic, and there's just too much ambiguity about him. Uncertainty. You don't know how his mood's going to be. But if it all clicks, we could be devastating. But I don't want to bank on all of that. Now, let's talk a little bit about the match, ladies and gentlemen, against Bournemouth. That's coming up. Bournemouth versus Chelsea away from home. Look, I'm sorry to say this. I'm predicting a loss for Chelsea. I'm not even going to do the lineup. I just want to go through some of the comments that Frank Lampard had to say. Look, what's the point of doing the lineup? I can come up with my lineup, and believe me, I bet you 100% that lineup is not going to come into fruition, because Frank is going to do some other madness. We'll see what madness is saved for us. Frank Lampard on Benoit Badiashile is a good question. Finally, someone asked Benoit Badiashile question to Frank Lampard in the press conference. Yes, very close to playing. He couldn't play in the Champions League for me. He played against Brighton, which is, of course, a difficult game for anyone. It's very close with competition between him, Thiago Silva, Wesley Fofana, and Trevor Chalobah. Look, I feel sad for Badiashile. He was actually doing fantastically. And I don't know why, especially on matches when we played back 3. In recent time. I know now we've at times played back 4. Even then, I don't understand why Badiashile doesn't get a game. Especially the back 3 against Brentford. Chalobah played as LCB. That was mad for me. Should have been Badiashile. Okay, Chalobah played in the Champions League against Real Madrid because Badiashile's not available. That's fine. But against Brentford, there's no reason for that. Hopefully we see Badiashile back this particular weekend. It all depends on what sort of lineup we're going to go with. 4 at the back, 3 at the back. If it's 4 at the back, I think Frank might go with Thiago Silva and Wesley Fofana. I would probably give Thiago Silva a bit of a break. It's not nice for Thiago Silva and his family as well. For other players as well to go just pick up L's after L's after L's. So just give some of these young players a chance. Give Badiashile and Wesley Fofana an opportunity to form some sort of relationship, partnership, and some solidarity. So We'll see. We'll see what Frank does, man. Frank Lampard, on whether he has been able to address Chelsea being too nice in training. There's not a time with the turnaround to deal with these fundamental issues, I guess. Like, it's mad. This is why I don't watch. I hate watching press conferences. Don't watch it, to be honest. I just pick up some of these comments. How can Frank say there's not a time with the turnaround to deal with these fundamental issues, I guess? How? What have you been brought in for in these last 10 games? To do what? If you can't seem to have any impact on anything and you can't seem to change anything, and now you're even going as far as saying in the last press conference that I heard him say post our defeat against Arsenal, this is how the situation was before me. It was the situation under Graham Potter as well. It's mad, man. Why'd you come in then if we can't even expect anything from you? So what are we going to do against Bournemouth? What can we expect? Nothing. You've been brought in to make an impact, to change things around, get that buzz. And you're coming in saying, there's not enough time to turn any of these fundamental issues around. So we just continue on. If that was the case, then let's not have a manager. Why he just picking up the checks? It's a sad situation. I don't even want to continue talking about it anymore because I get frustrated. I get angry. My thoughts in regards to Frank Lampard. Look, big mistake on top of the mistake we've made with Graham Potter, and also by sticking on with Graham Potter for so long, as we've seen what Sterling had to say, Gabriele Marcotti, in regards to the owners. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you thought about everything we've gone through. Look, I'm predicting a loss against Bournemouth. I'm probably going to lose it. Even though I'm predicting a loss, I'm probably going to lose it this time around. If we do lose against Bournemouth, I can feel it. It will make me so sad. Yet another weekend in the bin. But it's probably going to be 2-1 Bournemouth. It's probably going to be 2-1. Bournemouth, they've been good. They've been very, very good in recent times. They've been putting teams away. They've been scoring goals. Dominic Solanke, look out for him. They're doing really good. They're going to put us under pressure at their home ground. And pressure is something we simply can't deal with right now. It's just simple as that. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. I shall see you guys for the watch along tomorrow. That is all.